Ever feel like projects would go a lot smoother if everyone was, on the same page from the get-go?
Oh, absolutely.
Like we all had some kind of shared playbook
Yeah.
for how we're gonna operate. Well, that's where ground rules come in, and that's what we're diving into today. Why they're more than just corporate jargon.
Yeah. I like to think of it, it's about setting these clear expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Creating that shared understanding.
Yeah.
Think of it like the foundation.
Okay.
For a well-built house, you need those ground rules. You need that solid base.
Yeah, so it's less about like laying down the law, and it's more about creating a supportive environment.
100%.
Yeah.
It's about taking those core company values.
Yeah.
Think about like ethics,
Right.
communication styles, and then making those actionable
Yeah.
for the whole team.
Okay, and this isn't just about like internal stuff, right?
Right.
Because I know one of the sources mentions how important ground rules are for
Oh, hugely important.
interacting with clients, even to contractors.
Especially with clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to make sure everyone's on the same page. Avoid so many headaches down the line.
It's giving me flashbacks to like
I go.
a project. I can't remember if we talked about it on here, but
Oh,
where like communication with the client was just so unclear, and it led to like weeks of back and forth.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a perfect example of where ground rules
Could nip that right in the bud.
could have saved everyone so much time, so much energy.
Totally. So it's about like prevention rather than
Yes.
constantly putting out fires.
Proactive.
Yeah.
Exactly. And a big part of that is leading by example. Right?
Oh, for sure.
It's not a do as I say, not as I do situation.
Right.
It has to start from the top.
Because if the team sees leadership following the ground rules, then
Right.
it sets the tone for everybody.
Sets the tone.
Speaking of setting the tone, one source really emphasizes open communication and how important that is.
Oh, I think that's crucial. I mean,
Mm.
if people don't feel safe
Right.
to ask questions
Yeah.
without like fear of judgment,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you get those misunderstandings, right? That's where things fester.
Then mistakes happen.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you gotta foster that culture
Right.
of learning and growth.
And speaking of mistakes, let's face it. I think we've all been there,
We've all been there.
where like someone, maybe even us, accidentally breaks a ground rule.
Happens.
So how do we handle those situations like constructively?
Well, I think that's where again, it comes back to that clear process, right?
Right.
So instead of just jumping to conclusions,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you broke this rule, you're in trouble, we need to understand why, right?
Like what happened?
Yeah, what happened? Was it intentional?
Was it a misunderstanding?
Was it a misunderstanding? Was it something else altogether?
Totally. It's about getting the full picture
100%.
before reacting.
Because sometimes, honestly,
Sometimes
a gentle reminder is all it takes.
a gentle reminder is all you need.
Like, hey, just remember this.
Remember, we said we were going to do it this way.
Exactly.
Right. And the source does highlight that,
Mhm.
that sometimes that is all it takes.
Sometimes.
But it does also say, like, don't be afraid to escalate if you need to.
Right. And it's not about punishment.
Right.
It's about, okay, this is an opportunity for training.
Mm-hmm.
This is an opportunity for guidance so it doesn't happen again.
So it becomes a learning opportunity rather than a
Exactly.
plan.
Not about pointing fingers.
Right.
It's about how do we all move forward. And you know what I find fascinating? There was this Google study,
Okay.
and they found that teams that had really clearly defined ground rules, especially for communication,
Mm-hmm.
they were 25% more innovative.
Wow. So it's not
about stifling creativity.
It's the opposite.
It's the opposite. Because you're giving people, again, back to that foundation, right? You're giving people that structure, that safety. They know what to expect.
Right.
And they feel more comfortable. They feel respected.
Do they feel empowered to actually take risks because they
Yes.
know like what the boundaries are?
They know the boundaries.
Okay.
They know what's expected of them.
So ground rules give everyone that structure
Yeah, sure.
so they can actually like do their best work.
Exactly.
This is giving me so much to think about. I might even like bring this up
I hope you do.
at my next team meeting because I think this could really help. What about you, listener?
Yeah.
What resonated with you most about ground rules? We'd love to hear from you.
Let us know.
All right, until next time.